back up to 59 degrees tomorrow. With the Inland News Update, I'm Blake Trolley.
Good and your mercy endure it forever. Lord, you are good and your mercy endure it forever. People from every nation, and tongue, from generation to generation, we worship you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we worship you for who you are. We worship you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we worship you for who you are. Come on, say, and you are good. Lord, you are good, say. Lord, you are good and your mercy endureth forever. Come on, don't stand around. Get involved in this. Say, Lord, you are good and your mercy endureth forever. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord. People from every nation.
Hey, good morning. This is Ify from the Ify Show. Good morning, and today we are here, as usual, to talk more about the show is on relationship and love. We have a guest speaker today, Miss Esther, who is in today. Miss Esther, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Miss Ify.
Today we're going to be talking about the communication in relationship and love. And we believe last week, Wednesday, was a Valentine's Day, and we did talk a lot about relationship. We did got some messages, text messages that came in last week, and we're following up on those text messages, and I think we'll be able to answer most of those questions today. I'm going to start with a quote that says, "Love is one of the most profound emotions known to human beings. There are many kinds of love, but most people seek its expressions in a romantic relationship with a compatible partner." Today, I will be asking most of these questions that came in through the text message on 562-292-2486. My first question is this, which was stated by RK. She asked, what is the difference between loving someone and being in love with someone?
Thank you, Miss Ify. The difference actually between loving someone, when you say you're loving someone, it means you love the person. When you're loving somebody, it means you like the person, you want to spend time with the person, you want to see the person happy, you want the best for the person when you're loving somebody. But when you say in love, it means that two people are involved. Loving someone can be said to be something you do. You loving me does not mean I'm loving you back. But when we say two people are in love, which means that two of them are conscious of the relationship between two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the loving someone is definitely when you kind of like the person, and when you love somebody, in love with somebody, means you're kind of appreciating the person. So that's actually makes sense to me, because when she sent this question, I was like, wow, I don't actually know how I'm gonna answer that question, because to me it was actually looking almost the same thing because of the love thing there. And I have a question that came in from one of his sisters. She said, why are relationships important to human beings?
Wow. Relationship is very important to human being. Relationship is a vast word. It's a very vast word, because it can be different kind of relationship. You can have a business relationship with somebody. You can have a social relationship with somebody. You can have a family relationship with somebody. But relationship is very important to every human being because nobody's an island. Somebody needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Somebody needs somebody to connect with. So we're talking about relationship. We are talking about you being connected to somebody in another way. So when you say relationship, it means that I really need somebody to connect to me, maybe in prayers as Christians, in sharing your feelings, in doing things. So it's very important to every human being. Nobody is an island.
Yeah, I had this couple that came into the office on Tuesday, and I think they're kind of having an issue in their relationship. I feel what is going on was actually miscommunication to whatever they said. But they're kind of in this relationship whereby they've been together for like 8 years, and she came in saying, "Oh, I don't think I want to be interested in the relationship again," and I'm frustrated about this relationship. He doesn't sleep in the house. He's always going out clubbing and everything. And one of the questions she said, if it's not really important for me keeping this guy in my house. And I was like, okay, what do you really want? And the guy said he doesn't want a divorce. And the lady said, I don't want to divorce him either. And so to me, I was looking at it, okay, if you two don't want a divorce, then you two have to be together. But then, I just feel like they don't understand the relationship between both of them at that moment, or maybe whatever they're going through has really gotten into them that are like, I'm really done with this. I just need a break. But at the same time, when I kind of listen to what both have said, and they have a child, I figured out that they have a miscommunication going on, and which is going to be very hard because the other person is like no, and this one is saying no. So both of them are in no head. So in other words, if she's listening, I really want you to understand that relationships are very important, most especially you have a child. Between you two, you still have to still keep that relationship up going just for the sake of that child, no matter what, because eventually when this child grows up, it's gonna be a little bit hectic. Okay, mom and dad are not always together, but I don't see that all the time, or I don't see mom coming to visit me. So like Miss Esther said, relationships are very important just to keep things going. And what advice do you have for these two couples?
Well, if they've been together for, like you said, 8 years, 8 years is a lot of time. I mean, it's some years there. It sounds small, but it's a lot of years. If you've been with one man, one woman for 8 years, I think it's something they have to really make out time and sit down together and talk it over with. Because from what you said, none of them want divorce. Mm-hmm. They don't want divorce. So which means they still have a love spot for each other. That's what it is. Because if they don't have that love spot or that love within two of them, they'll be more than willing to go ahead and take a divorce. And the child is involved, like you said. But most times you don't just want to be stuck in a relationship because a child is involved. You want to be happy yourself. A child is involved. Yes, we need to be in a relationship because kids are involved. But remember this, if what we said last week, that when life is at risk, when there is a life threat, you don't want to be in that relationship because the child would prefer having both parents alive than having both parents dead and being in a foster home. Yes. So those are things we want to check. And also in that kind of relationship, if you have an issue where you always having this major arguments, people are abusing each other emotionally, physically, you're actually teaching the child to start bullying. It's not a good atmosphere either to train a child. So there's a lot of things to actually consider before getting into divorce and all those stuffs. Mm-hmm. One just have to be careful and talk it over with and pray to God and see what God can do. Because with God, all things are possible.
Yeah, that's true. And, I actually had this lady that, was talking with me. She is this kind of woman that always argue a lot. And she came and said, Ify, is it actually okay to argue in a relationship? I'm like, is it all the time or occasionally? Like, what kind of argument? Is it just normal thing? Is it just okay to argue in a relationship?
Well, arguments in a relationship is not bad. There's some healthy arguments, When you argue in a relationship, it becomes bad or it's not good when is an argument that doesn't make sense. You know, some people argue blindly. When you're in a relationship, you can argue, but it has to be a healthy argument. And argument at times makes you understand what the other partner don't like. You know, and then it makes you stay away from it. You can argue. People always say, there's a saying that say you have to disagree to agree. So when you argue, you are disagreeing, but always find a way. One of the partner have to find a way to reach this point of like, okay, I'll let this go. So there's nothing wrong in arguments.
So arguing, it's something that you definitely have to face in a relationship.
It can be healthy too. I mean, every relationship, like
Of
for example,
course.
let's be real. In reality, there's no husband and wife that does not argue. But what happens is there are different stages of arguments. Some arguments are mild, while some are intense, right? So when you argue in a relationship, like I said, it helps a little bit. Like a child, and if you have a child, any mother out there listening to this show, you have a child, for example, 9 years, 10 years, once in a while they will argue with you. So there's no way you say a relationship will not have argument, but it depends on the kind of argument we are doing and what we are agreeing on.
Yeah. So definitely, so if you are somebody that always argue in a relationship, just believe that it's just permitted to argue, but it's also permitted to sort it out right away, so that it doesn't extend to a long, time whereby there will be hatred. Because if you look at it, the line to hatred is a very tiny line, and it's so easy for somebody to say, you know what, I just hate you. But it's not, you hardly see people tell you that I really love you. The hatred word comes more faster than the love word. So and relationships are meant to have their ups and downs. Relationships are meant to have their own positive and negative way, but just hang in there, do argue, but just try to sort it out right away. Last week was Valentine on Wednesday, and I do got so many messages, and one of the messages I really want to point out is there's a lot of people don't understand between the difference of I love you and love you. And now we have to answer that question. He said, is there a difference between saying I love you and love you?
Wow. Okay, wow. I love you and love you. Yeah, I love you is, I think it's clear. It's very self-explanatory. I love you is me, Esther. If I say Ify, I love you. So what I mean is, Miss Esther, love you. Ify, Miss Esther, love you. Right? That's what I mean by I love you. But when you say love you can be anything. Love you can be Ify, my child love you.
Okay.
Ify, my friend love you, because it's love you. Remember? But people get confused with that. When they say love you, they think the guy is saying or the woman is saying I love you. No, he said love you. So it's not left with you, the listener, because for communication to be effective, there must be a sender, a receiver, and a channel of communication. So it depends on you, what you think in your mind. So it's almost the same thing, but there's a slight difference. Some people play that.
Yeah.
Love you. They didn't say I love you. They just say love you.
Yeah, because if you look at it nowadays, a lot of people are really using that words anyhow. It's like, okay, I have time on the phone. Okay, I love you. But sometimes I ask myself, does it really come from the depth of their heart to just use that word, I love you? Because there's a difference between I love you and there's a difference, and then I love you. Because I could tell you love you, but does it mean it comes from my heart? No, I actually see it as just to tell you, just to let you go.
No, at times, no, I don't want to agree with that. I really disagree with that, because some people, for real, they say I love you and it's I love you. Some people just said it like to let you go, one. Another say it to just make you feel good. You see what I'm saying? But it depends on you being an adult who is the receiver of the communication to actually know what this person is doing. Does it really show he or she love me, or you just saying it? You know, some people are like, they're used to people saying I love you. So, oh, I love you. They just say it. So it depends on you to actually know, is there a real love here, or a lust, or an infatuation? So it depends what it is.
Like, say for example, my boyfriend or my husband's friend just called me and we are talking, and they say I love you instead of using the word love you. I mean, to me that's gonna put, because who I'm expecting to tell me I love you should be the man I'm with.
Okay.
And then maybe my boyfriend called me, or my my husband calls me and said, okay, Ify, it's okay. Just take care of your time. Love you. And his friend is saying, okay, take care of your time and everything. I love you. It's a little bit complicated,
Yeah, it
because
is
I'm expecting,
Okay, it is complicated. Look at this. Yes, it's like my husband. If the person could stand in front of your husband, I say love you. You see what I'm saying? And your husband is okay by that. It depends on the relationship. Remember, being your husband's friend or being your friend does not mean you are close. Everybody's a friend, but there are different levels of friendship. There's this friendship your husband may have, and they say, I love you, and maybe that person is like a friend that's still closer than a brother. To your husband, is like, oh, he's part of my family. And there's another friend that say, I love you. Your husband get back to the house and said, what are you doing with that guy? Why did he say that to you?
Yeah.
So it all depends. See, we have friends, but there are different levels of friendship.
Okay. Richard Battery always say, if you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they're yours. If they don't, they never will. So if you really love somebody and, you guys have kind of like a misunderstanding, if they come back to you, they're all yours. But if they kind of, okay, I'm done, I don't want to come back again, just set them free and let them go.
That's not just what that means too. There's another part to this. Okay. Another part to this is, for example, you know how people are in relationship and they want to boss you around, they want to police you around, they want to monitor everything you do, right? Where you have genuine love, love is trust, love is kind, love is honest. When you really love a lady or a guy, you won't be able like, oh, what are you doing? Who is talking to you? That's another way you can look at that saying. It's not just when the relationship comes to an end or something bad going on with the relationship. But when you love somebody, you could trust the person that I am here now. I'm not with my husband, but he knows wherever I am, I'm not with another man. My husband is somewhere, he's gone to work. I know he's not with another woman. He's not doing anything stupid. So those are the things you look at it that way. It can be that let the person go. Give the person the freedom. Trust the person. If it's yours, she will always come back to you. If it's not yours, that's it.
That's it. Exactly. So I have a question that came from Jay Martins. And like I said, last week, Wednesday was Valentine's Day. And a lot of people got engaged, a lot of people got heartbroken, a lot of people were being put up to the walls. And she texted me and she said, how do I get over a broken heart?
Wow, broken hearts. Is there anything like a broken heart, if I may ask you? We said that one. Is there anything like a broken heart?
Maybe a heart that has been broken into pieces.
let's play around that one. Is there anything like broken heart?
And I believe that's what most Americans use there. You broke my heart.
Yeah, when their heart is broken, they should be in ER. I'm just being funny. I guess.
Maybe I see you.
You see me now? When their heart is broken, they should have called 911 and have open heart surgery somewhere. Okay. I want our listeners to know there is nothing like a broken heart.
Okay.
The heart is broken when you think it's broken, because a man leaves you or a woman say no to your friendship does not mean that heart is broken. You know why? The Bible says in Revelation 3:20, it said, I stand at the door of your heart and knock. If you open the door, I come into you. The only person that is allowed to get into your heart and sup with you is Jesus Christ. So there's no way you tell me your heart is broken. It's all in the mind. Because that thing you're thinking is a broken heart, it's just a little challenge. It's just a little trial you could come out of it. But what happened with us is we trust people more than we trust ourselves. That is why we have a broken heart.
Yeah.
People are having a broken heart because they don't look onto the right thing. They don't think. They think love is blind. So they run into this guy, they run into this woman, they want to deal with them. And when the person shows their real color, they're like, oh, he has broken my heart. Wow, how do you deal with a broken heart? Just go home, fix it, get the pieces, fix it together, find something interesting to do, make yourself happy, and just move on with your life.
Yeah, that's true. So, like Miss Esther says, there is nothing like a broken heart. And if you are going through, you could go through emotional times, you could go through, like, it's going to be painful, of course. This is somebody you've shared your times, you've shared your feelings with, and all of a sudden the person wakes up and just, let go of things. Of course, it's definitely
it's emotional.
Yeah, it's emotional issue.
It's emotional issue, not a broken heart.
Not a broken
We need to
heart.
understand it.
Yeah.
Emotionally, you disturbed. It may be emotional abuse. Some people have different kind of abuse, psychologically, emotional abuse. So it does not mean the heart is broken. The heart is still intact.
Yeah.
But you just have to put yourself together, find something you want to do. Maybe you have somebody you like, call the person. You like watching movie, watch movie. You like food, eat the food you want to eat. Make yourself happy and move on.
Yeah. And if you're watching on this or if you're listening on KCAAradio.com and you have any question on a relationship, you can always text me. Only text messages at 562-292-2486. 562-292-2486. And you said something about they can, always try to move on. How do, is there any advice you can give to them? How do I let go and move on with this issue?
For you to let go, it's always good to be honest with ourselves. The only way you can move on with life is being honest with yourself. You got to call yourself to order. Tell yourself, this is the end of this. I can't move forward with this guy. I mean, this guy don't want me. I always jokingly tell people like, oh, you think you're so depressed about him? Think about something he did. He did something wrong. That thing he did, you really hated. To be honest, if you remember something the person did to you, you didn't like, something like oh, because of love, I'll be here, right? If you remember any of those, it could make you let go easily. You focus on those things. Because there's a saying, I think a book says, a writer gave a title of a book, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, which means that things good are not yet here. And also we should know that the sky is too broad for any two birds to clash together.
Yes.
There's always a time to move on in every situation. Stagnation is when you're stuck in a place. There's always a time to move on, even in a relationship.
Yeah, like somebody like me, when I got in a very hectic relationship, and it was really hard for me to move on. But I tell you the truth, emotionally I was totally down. But there's something that kept me going.
Okay.
I just look at myself and say, I think I have more potentials in me than sitting
Good.
down to think about what has gone, between us. And I just had to force myself to move on. And, there are a lot of people out there going through the same thing. And I keep, I've gotten a lot of people that come to my office, even my workers, and they tell me, I'm tired of this. I don't even know how to just go ahead and move on with my life because I'm stick to him. I can't do anything without him. I can't do anything without her.
It is not sticking, actually. Most people are not able to move on because of fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you. That is, fear of the unknown. Maybe they've been with that guy. The guy have done something good, be there for them, or a lady help them with their bills and all those stuffs. So they're like, okay, how am I going to live without this person? It's not just about the emotional thing. Most times it's the benefits that comes from relationship. That's what people think about. So but when you fear, like, okay, tomorrow I have fear of the unknown, how do I do this? But like you said, when you have a lot of potential, when you know that the day God made you is only you that your mom gave birth to, you didn't come to this world with anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then every potential, everything that will make you be who you want to be, God has already invested in you. The only person you need is God. You can move on.
Yeah, somebody was telling me yesterday, said the best thing, however you can slap a man, is like, I'm talking about the men aspect. If they kind of disappoint you, the best way to kind of give them a slap on the face is just move ahead of how they met you before. So if you're in level 2, you better move into level 4. Because that's the only way. That's the only way you can actually make them feel, okay, wow, so she has all this, she can do this. So I kind of, always advise people, if you are actually in a very horrible relationship and you can't continue with that relationship, go ahead and move on. It's not the end of life, and it will never be. Somebody better out there is actually looking for you. And I've noticed something. When you actually love somebody, sometimes those people don't love you. It's actually those that you don't really love that comes after you and care for you more. Why is it like that? Because that's actually so critical. I've been in a way whereby I actually don't love the person, and he's always coming closer, and very caring, very submissive, very, want to be everything. And I keep, and then you love this person, and he's just like playing the games.
Okay.
Like, why?
Okay. I understand what you said. Most times we look at it that way, that people you love so much, they don't give you love back, and most of the time it's not always that way. That's what we think, because when people are in relationship, one person love the other person. Like, for example, she love the friend, maybe the spouse. She's doing everything to make this husband happy, right? The husband, it makes the person you loving so much to feel so important. It's only a wise man or a wise woman that you will love so much and they give you love back. Okay? The ones is like when you give a pearl to a pig. What will a pig do with a pearl? Because it doesn't know what it is, right? So what we do is, you love the person. Let me give an example. My husband know I love him, okay? I mean, my husband love me. I'm sorry, but you have to listen to this, that's fine. So in my family, like, my husband know I love him. I do anything to make him happy. But if I feel that he's not doing what I want him to do, when I shut off, it makes him come to me. You see what I'm saying? At times, I just withhold my own love to test his love. That's why, are you okay, baby? Are you, all those things he's supposed to, like, do regularly, he wasn't doing, he will start doing it. Why? Because I shut off myself, I want to bottle myself, and also try to make sure his love is there for me. So we should be careful. It's both ways.
That's true. Why is it important to respect each other in a relationship?
Respect is very, very important in a relationship, because like the Bible says in Genesis 8:22, as long as earth time remains, seed time and harvest does not cease. You cannot get what you don't give. Okay? If you don't give respect in a relationship, you don't get respect. It's what you give, that's what you get. So in a relationship, it's always good to respect each other, because it's a sense of belongingness. The person feel more belonging and more comfortable with you when you know you respect, especially the men. Women need respect, but men, they think they need more respect, or they deserve more respect. Let me correct myself. Men deserve respect in a relationship, while a woman deserves love.
I've been in a relationship whereby anytime the person really wants me to, serve him food, and he says, "Oh, you have to kneel down to give me the food," or something like, something funny.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound like something in there. It's weird to me.
Weird to you.
Yeah, because if you look at it, you're trying to respect him, but in the essence, he's still kind of being proud and wants.
You think so?
To me,
I don't want to say it's proud, because some of them are culture. You see, we have different cultures. And I know in this world somewhere, there are places a woman does not talk when a man is talking. And there's places a woman have to, with respect, kneel down to give food. Maybe that guy is his culture. But that's like, I don't want to say, nobody does that now, because I have to be honest. This is US,
Yes,
not
yeah.
even because it's US. We are from, different places. America is a melting point. But I think you've been decent and responsible enough if in our schedule here in US, see, any woman listening, any man listening, if you have a woman in the house that still make her time to cook food for you and put food for you on the table, that woman should be appreciated.
Yeah.
Because, this place is so busy. This country is so busy. I'm talking from experience. So if you still cook for your husband, like I always do, I have a husband, and what do? Unless I'm not home, I make sure there's food in the house. But if I'm home, I put his food on the table. I serve him like a royalty. I give him 3-course meal in my house every time, and still do fresh juicer for him. Why? Because he's my husband, and he's the king of the house. So I serve him like a king. But kneeling down, Maybe it's a culture thing.
I wouldn't want to do that anyways. Yeah, if you have any question on any relationship, and we can always bring it up at text me at 562-292-2486. Again, the number is 562-292-2486. I have somebody that brought up this question. I say, how do you let go of someone you really love? Like you're really being with a person and you want to let go.
Someone you really love, how do you let go? It depends. People handle things differently. My way of handling stress may not be the way of handling stress. And I think we answered a little bit of that question before by saying, get something that interests you, something you love doing. The time you spend with the person on the phone or physical, find something productive and invest in it. If where you are, for example, academically, is not where you should be, like you said about a guy, go back to school, do some classes, do something better with your life. By the time you get busy, I tell women that comes to me for counseling and all those stuff, said, you are bothered about this guy because you have time. Right? I think people are stuck in relationship because they have time. If you're a busy woman out there, you have to go to work, maybe you're doing some classes online, you have family to take care of, you won't even recognize very well when a man leaves you, because it looks like a little blessing in disguise. Because if you're like Ify that have to kneel down to give a man food, the man leaves you now. You're not more going to cook and kneel down to give a man food. That's a minus. That's a little minus. So there's always way to work it out.
Of course. And if you look at it these days, there's too many divorces out there. I don't know what's going on. Everyone, I'm divorced. I'm separated. Why do marriages fail? Why?
It's a spiritual thing, I have to be honest with you. We look at the divorce physical, it's not physical. Because a man of God was telling us a story. He said he was on the way traveling internationally, and a guy was not eating. And he asked the guy, said, why are you not eating? Are you a Christian? Are you fasting? He said, I'm not a Christian. He said, they are really fasting to make sure they put divorce on families of the earth. Yes, from occult. It's a spiritual thing. See, divorce is not physical. It's a spiritual thing. Because the devil knows when he fights the home, the church is being fought and the society is affected. See, the church is home. The society comes from home. Home is the primary unit of all the things we'll see on a world. So the devil knows when the family is in shambles, the world is in shambles. So it's not just physical. It's not physical. It's a spiritual thing, and that's a deeper topic we can't even get into. It's a spiritual fight, because there are people, demonic world, fasting every day to make sure they bring divorce and separation in the homes in America. So we have to really be sensitive and watch it.
So every family is out there. You have to always be together. They said a family that prays together stays together.
And besides, God had divorce. God said he had divorce, or length when life is involved. In the book of Old Testament talks about Moses said you can divorce a man or a woman if they cheat on you. But New Testament said you have to forgive 490 times. It depends if you're Old Testament or New Testament. So
if this issue of marriages are failing and, the couples wants to come together, how can I improve my marriage? So let's say I'm actually, my marriage is about to fall off, and I want to save this marriage. What do you think I can do to actually improve the marriage? Because apart from prayers, everybody's going to tell me go ahead and pray and fast and do everything. But, sometimes I get tired of fasting and praying because, there's sometimes I actually need the energy to eat food and get things going. So how do I improve my marriage?
Wow. Fasting and praying is one thing you have to do to save marriage, but that's not all. See, most times we spiritualize everything we should not be. You have a marriage, you're in a relationship, you call it marriage, and nobody have respect for each other. You see, that marriage already has an issue going on. There's no laid down rule, even in the Bible, say this is how to save a marriage. I had a lady come to me one time. She was going through a challenge with her husband. And to this extent, they have 2 little kids. And they sleep in separate rooms. And they still live in the same house. And this one in their early 30s. They are very young. And when she came to me, I'm like, no, we cannot do this. Okay? There are different issues in marriage that looks like my marriage is failing. If it's a strange woman, your husband cheating on you or your wife cheating on you, that's one reason marriage can start going down. That's why you have to work on it. Try and find out from your partner what is going on. What is it I'm not doing well? Everything is not prayer. Prayer is good, right? But we got to apply wisdom, because the Bible says in all our getting, let's get understanding. Some are issues you need to talk over with. Maybe there's something you're not doing. You're not cleaning what they want you to clean. You're not being romantic. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. At times, finance may be an issue in marriage. Finance. Most marriage in US, most of them are because of finances. She's making more money, she's not bringing it home, or he's not, I don't know what he's doing with the money. We look at another issue. Sex and romance is another thing that could make a marriage crash. Third party too. You know, third parties, it could be in-laws, it could be friends, is another thing that could make marriage fail. It depends on what the cause is. It's always good to know the cause of why your marriage is not working out. And then what you do first is try to fix it, not cut it off from the roots. Because some people shove things under the carpet and it still stays after a while, it props up again. So we take it away from the root. That's how we can fix it.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Esther. And if you have any questions, and we're looking at relationships and communications and love today. And if you have any question you feel like it's not comfortable within you and you want to speak out, it's brother text at 562-292-2486. There is a question that came up last week Thursday after the Valentine's Day. We had a show here, and one of them was like, is it really necessary to know everything from your partner's previous relationship? For me, I actually don't want to know. Because that's a no for me. I'm not interested, because if you might tell me what you've gone through in your previous, it could actually irritate me, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with you again. Cause so you've been through all this in life, like, you know, there's some people I'll be like, okay, well, thank God you did through all those and you overcome. Why, you know? But to tell you the truth, if I'm in a that kind of relationship that I really want to, these are for people that are still dating.
Is it really necessary?
You know, is it really necessary for you to know everything from your partner's previous relationships?
I would say the vital ones are needed to be brought up. Okay? Unless if it's not necessary. The vital ones. There's some informations that are very vital you have to bring up to your partner in the future relationship. But it has to be issues you already dealt with that will not creep into the new relationship, because that's the danger. You can't say everything about the other relationship in the new relationship to maintain your integrity. Because there are some things people do that are so stupid. I mean, they were younger, they didn't do it the right way, and then you see another man, you've grown up a little bit, you start saying everything you did before. Your integrity is at stake. You need to maintain that integrity of like, you are still responsible, you are still okay. But the vital things, and another thing is, when a partner asks somebody, did you do this? Like, for example, I have an issue of somebody, she had abortion before she married, and a man of God was like, oh, did you do this? They were praying with the person she want to marry. She said, oh, I never did it. She covered up. But after, she confessed. Like abortions and all those stuff, if your partner is interested to know, is important. But if not, allow the sleeping dog sleep. Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. And before we go for a break, I would like to ask this question. Is communication important in a relationship?
Very, very important. Very, very important. Communication is one of the reasons, too, that makes marriage go down. I didn't mention it the last time. What is communication? We all know that communication is a process of sending message between two people through a channel. You know, we'll have a sender, we'll have a receiver. Communication is a very big thing in any relationship. Why? Is because it helps you to understand each other. It helps you to know what your partner likes and what your partner does not like. Is a very vital issue in relationship.
Yeah, that's true. Because sometimes when you listen to most of this issue going on in a relationship, you kind of find out that most of it is out of miscommunication.
Sure.
And when they're not communicating well, most especially in the times of the man and the woman not having their heads together, it tears up the relationship. So communication is very vital in relationship. And if you have question, like I say, we're not accepting any calls for now, but we're receiving text message and accepting text messages at 562-292-2486. Epic Staffing Agency is hiring for CNAs and LVNs. If you have CNAs or you have LVNs out there, you can always come into the office at 879 West 190th Street. Is Suite 400 at City of Gardena, California. The zip code is 90248. If you have in needs of janitorial services for your companies and you're in need of cleaning up for facilities, we have Epic Janitorial Services Inc. Contact them at 879 West 190th Street, Suite 400, and it's at Gardena. The zip code is 90248. We'll definitely be going for a short break and we'll be back again to talk more about communication in relationship and love.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
Locals in Loma Linda and Redlands all know and love the Family Homestyle Cafe, the home of the world's largest pancakes and the delicious mouth-watering food cooked up daily by their well-trained chefs. Sizzling thick-cut bacon, ham, and hand-pressed sausage. They take pride in the best quality, great economical values, with better portions served up with the pride of local ownership and great service. Near the corner of Anderson and Redlands Boulevard in Loma Linda, if you haven't tried out Chef Mark's Delights, you haven't had some of the best food in the area. And now, Chef Mark is upgrading his cafe and offering space for on-site gatherings, luncheons, and parties. Add a DJ for a great holiday party or luncheon, and you've got a no-fuss event with all the bells and whistles. Call Mark today at 909-478-9996. That's 909-478-9996. Or stop by the Homestyle Cafe in Loma Linda at Anderson and Redlands Boulevard.
Did you know that 80 to 85% of children's brains are developed by the time they are 3 years old? The San Bernardino City Unified School District is sponsoring free parenting education classes for families of children ages 0 to 36 months. Classes include free childcare, a light meal, children's books to take home, and weekly giveaways. Graduates earn a certificate of completion. For more information, please visit www.infanttoddlersuccess.org or call 909-347-7313.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me. When the world's all as it should be, blessed be your name. Blessed be your name on a road marked with suffering. Though there's pain in the offering, blessed be your name. Yeah. And every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, bless.
Welcome back to the Ify Show. This is where we talk about life, relationship, and love. And we have our guest here, Miss Esther is still with us. And We're back from the break, and the next question is, it's kind of a little bit funny, but I'm going to actually speak it out right now. Is romance important?
Romance.
So let's get
Oh
through that.
my God, that's really straight up. Well, if there's no romance, there's no relationship. What are you doing? If there's no romance, there's no relationship. I think romance is very, very, very more than crucial.
You know,
In
what
any-
about those people whereby they say, you're not supposed to know a man or a woman before you get married, and all this kind of thing. So how do they practice the romance if it's actually
No. Romance is not sex. You listen. You're missing it all. No. Listen. You are missing this stuff. Listen, Miss Ify, you are missing it up.
Okay.
Romance and sex is two different things.
Okay.
Right? And I think that's what we want to make our listeners understand. Romance is not the same thing with sex. Romance is ROM whatever, and sex is SE whatever. So it's not the same thing. So what is romance? Romance is a very important, crucial thing in a relationship. And many partners actually, is a pity, I mean, that's just the truth. Many partners don't actually know what is romance. And they don't know how to implement romance. Romance, we're looking at, people look at romance as being sex. It's not sex. What is romance? Romance is a little bit, like a little action. Romance is affection. It's something little you do. It's a thoughtfulness. It's adoration. Something you drink to make somebody come closer to you. It can be like for a man, you go out there, you see an earring, like my husband does it at times. He goes out there, he see a dress or something.
Okay.
He buys it for me. He's being romantic. That's romance. People think it's sex. Romance is not sex. I go home, I think about something good, and then my husband, before he comes home, I make something different. Make a dish, make something different. I'm getting him ready for the night. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So romance is little things you do in a relationship that put smile to the other one, that appreciates each other. It's not all about sex. Romance is a junior brother to sex. Sex is the real thing.
Okay.
Romance gets you ready for sex. How about that?
Okay, romance gets you ready for sex. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. We're actually receiving calls, and can you please text us? We're actually accepting only text messages at 562-292-2486. And there is something, and they always come up. Most time, we human beings, we don't know how to communicate our feelings to our loved ones or to our partner, or maybe your boyfriend, significant others, or whatever. How can I communicate my feelings?
Your feelings, is it the good feelings or bad feelings?
Both
There's a lot
I
of
mean,
feelings.
both of them, because sometimes when I'm in a very difficult situation, I really want the next person to be able to help me out. And sometimes it's very hard to, okay, if I communicate with him, will he even listen to me?
Wow.
So how do I communicate my feelings?
Well, that's why we call it relationship. That's why it's a relation. If it's married people, that's why it's a family. In any relationship, one should be able to communicate your feeling, happy, sad, moody, to the next partner. How you communicate your feeling, first of all, you have to understand your partner. It is very, very important, because you may have a feeling that you really need attention, and you don't understand this guy. He's coming back from work tired. He has not eaten. And you're calling him on the phone. You're telling him he's tired. He had a hectic day. When you understand your partner, it helps you communicate better. How? Because you know when the person is ready to listen. You know when the right time to communicate. Most of us, we communicate to our partner the wrong time. So when we do the wrong time, we get the wrong response. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you do a wrong communication and a wrong feeling, you get a wrong response. When your partner is settled, when he feels comfortable, when she feels good, you can even make it. Be romantic. Put something first. Put a little romance, like we just talked about it. A little romance. He's happy. He's still in the romance mood. You put in your feelings. It goes straight. It's easy. That's the fastest way.
In a situation whereby you have a man in your life, and he, for 3 days, he never called or text you, and you have a lot of burdens in you, and you're like, okay, I really want to sort some issues out, and for 3 days, no call, no text. How do you communicate your feeling with them?
Which means in that relationship, you're not living together. That's what it is, right?
Yes.
Okay. 3 days, any relationship, it looks weird when a guy is in your life, you're not living together, you don't speak for 2-3 days, it doesn't look good. Because when you say you're in love, you want to get in touch with your lover 100 times a day. Test, how you doing? This, that. When something comes up and there's no communication, you could ask. That's why we're all adults. That's what we said last week, that relationship are for adults, it's not for children. You can call him, where are you? I want to see you. Can we talk? Can you come over, or can I meet you somewhere? That's why it's for adults. It's not for children.
Not for
One
children.
can open up and say, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, that's true. And there is this thing I always notice when couples stays together. Why do some couples look alike each other after a while in marriage? Like you see them, you saw them like many years ago. They look different, but after like 10 years, they start looking like they're twin.
Okay. Couple look alike. Most times they share the same experience. Remember, you're in a relationship, you're married, so you share the same experience. There's a saying that the happier you are, the more alike you look. Why you become familiar with all others, because you are attracted to each other, and then you're always together, doing things together, eating almost the same food. So the metabolism that goes on in this person is going on in this person. So with time, everything starts looking alike.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Esther. Thank you for coming into this program. And I want to end this quote with our listeners by Marianne Wilmsel. She said, relationships are internal. The separation is another chapter in the relationship. Often letting go of the old form of the relationship becomes a lesson in pure love, much deeper than any would have learned had the couple stayed together. So if you're going through any difficulties or any issues on relationship and you want to talk to somebody, kind of text me at 562-292-2486 and we'll definitely reply you as soon as possible. This is Ify Shows, and we'll be back next week at 9 KCAA 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. Still remain blessed and have a great day. Thank you.
Lord of all creation, of water, earth, and sky. The heavens are your tabernacle. Glory to the Lord on high. God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, holy. Lord of heaven and earth. Lord of heaven and
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick. CNBC stocks are higher, but not enough to erase yesterday's losses. The Dow is up 103, the Nasdaq 61, the S&P 15. Sales of pre-owned, used homes fell last month for the second month in a row. There aren't enough homes for sale, and they cost too much now. Homeowners who bought a Yeri outdoor fire pit from Home Depot should know that 58,000 are being recalled. Users can get burned when trying to shut off the propane tank. Shares of CVS, Walgreens falling deep in the red today. Amazon selling its own over-the-counter medicine now. That could hurt drugstore sales. Customers tend to come in for a Tylenol or something and wind up buying other things throughout the store. Grubhub's working with American Express so people can use their Amex rewards to pay for their Grubhub order. And more Americans plan to save the extra money they get from their tax refund this year. Go Banking Rates says 4 in 10 will save the money. A third will pay off their bills instead. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
The March of Dimes and HCA Healthcare are committed to the best possible start for every baby. I'm Amy Casari, Vice President of HCA Women and Children's Services, where we have the honor of delivering over 200,000 babies a year. We partner with the March of Dimes on research and fundraising to help build a brighter future for babies everywhere. So march with us on one of the many HCA teams assembled nationwide. Learn more at marchforbabies.org/HCA.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. America's pastor is dead at the age of 99. A family spokesperson says Christian evangelist Billy Graham died today from natural causes at his home in North Carolina. Presidential historian John Meacham notes that Graham didn't like the title doctor.
He had not earned a doctorate, and so he preferred Mr. Graham, which I think says a lot about his character.
Survivors of the high school shooting in Florida are at the state's capital to push for tougher gun laws. More than 100 students bussed up from South Florida for the Tallahassee rally today. President Trump says the Democrats should be included in the Russia investigation. In a morning tweet, Trump asked if all the Russian meddling took place during the Obama administration right up to January 20th, why aren't they the subject of the investigation? A police officer is reportedly dead in a shooting near Washington, D.C. WRC-TV says there was a shootout between the officer and a suspect in Prince George's County, Maryland today. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
Olympic update from NBC News Radio.
Here's the latest from Pyeongchang. It's over for the American men in the Olympic hockey tournament. Team USA was eliminated with a 3-2 shootout loss to the Czech Republic in the quarterfinals. The U.S. led 1-0, trailed 2-1, then tied the game with a shorthanded goal before getting blanked in the shootout.
I thought we battled hard. We gave it everything we had. Unfortunately, came up short.
Team captain Brian Giunta there with the post-mortem. Lindsey Vonn had to settle for bronze in the women's downhill as her good friend Sofia Goggia of Italy took the gold. Two other U.S. skiers finished in the top 10. Alice McInnes placed 5th and Breezy Johnson 7th. Mixed results for the U.S. in the women's and men's cross-country team sprints. The tandem of Jessie Diggins and Keegan Randall earned the first ever cross-country gold medal for the U.S. in the women's final, but the male duo of Eric Bjornsson and Simi Hamilton finished in 6th place. With this Olympic update, Mitch Evans, NBC News Radio.
This segment of programming sponsored by Cybertime Network Communications. How's your internet? Feeling boxed in with the high costs of the internet? Ready for a better internet service? Then you're ready for Cybertime. Yes, there's an alternative to those big corporate internet service providers. It's Cybertime Network Communications. Cybertime is so good they provide all